recalibration in Pierce County continues. This is through, oh, look at you, Finn, you got it through January. Yesterday it was through December, and I was going to tell you that December ended at the same value calibration as January, but she's updated it. And 174,950, I think it's almost identical. There's no way I could read this, but the calibration continues, and so we've been beating the drum. Prices are low. Okay? You can buy a house today for the same price you could in May of 2003. Same house, same price. And we've beaten the drum that interest rates are low. Everybody, I think, knows all that. So talk about how we communicate it. Maybe there's a better way. Maybe the story is not just prices are low and interest rates are low, now's the time to buy, but how about affordability? If you have the same house in 2003 that you can buy today for the same price, in 2003 the rate was 5.5. There's your payment. Today, at a 3.9 mortgage, you have a much lower payment. So you save $189 a month. So it isn't the price, it's the cost. It's the same house for less cost. It's just a great way to communicate it. And over the annually, you'll save $2,200 and change. Life of the loan, $68,000. There's a quote on affordability. Housing affordability has improved dramatically. It's the best it's been since 1971, is what he's saying here. He's saying national purchase mortgage payments now account for only 13% of median family income. At the peak, it was 23%. Huge improvement. So it's not just about price, it's about affordability. Just about an hour to go, we're good. So here's my graph from last year, updated for 2012. $10,769 transactions. I was wrong last year. I said 8,200 and it ended up being 9,126, so forgive me. We had a 12% increase last year in transaction velocity. This year I'm saying 18. A guy like this helps give me confidence making such statements. John Talbot wrote the book, The Coming Crash of the Housing Market, in 2003. We didn't like him. And then in 2006, literally the national peak of the bubble, he wrote Sell Now.
That's why it happened.
It's his fault.
Good.
He wrote a book or article recently that says essentially now is the time to buy, and he's been waiting for years to be able to make such a statement. He wrote it in December, and he's calling it on prices relative to the peak, on relative construction and replacement costs. I wrote up an apartment, a 7-unit apartment this last week, that there's no way you could build it for the price that I wrote it up. Stuff like that's going on with housing, and that's what he's referring to here, construction and replacement costs. Relative income to rents, and then in real value terms, where he has some graphs talking about housing cost over the last 50 years as compared to gold instead of the US dollar. It's interesting stuff. But the bottom line is, he's a smart guy, he's not in the industry, and he's saying, based on these matrices, for the same reason that I said it's going to crash, I'm saying it's coming back, and this is it, baby. So some takeaways, hopefully, on this, is that the markets, and this is a great conversation, markets come back in 2 ways. Okay? The first thing is transactions. They come back in price, they come back in transactions, but the transactions have to happen first. And I'm saying that's happening. This year, for the first, well, I mean, there's always rewards for those who work hard, right? But this year, I think in particular, is a chance to really establish yourself with your clientele. Because if we lead with this message and we have our ducks in a row as professionals, boots on the ground, talking to people making buying and selling decisions, we're going to establish ourselves as real experts. There's really some great rewards for those who work hard this year. One of your key messages is affordability. One of the reasons we're confident in saying this is it's not just NAR telling it. Non-industry experts are predicting a return of housing. It's not a spin. The responsibility is ours. The ability for us to communicate this and to get our constituents to see what's going on and get off the fence, I think will be greatly rewarded. Thanks, guys.